Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45 Research Methods for Saturday, October 29th. And as always, just going to go over a few items and reminders, clarifications, anything I think you need to know to stay on top of things in our course. So I'll get started here with my list of things to go over with you. First up, your most recent exam for Unit 3. The scores for that have been posted there on the Canvas gradebook, so do take a look at that. And just a reminder again, as I have in the instructions and via some recent announcements, please be careful not to just copy and paste information from your textbook there, and also be careful not to just copy and paste information from some psychology related website that you find as well there. You should be using the information from our book and our lecture videos there and not relying on outside sources for those things. So please be careful about that. It's getting to be a problem sometimes. Next up here is that Unit 4 is open. That covers chapters 11, 12, and 13. So go ahead and work ahead on those chapters and get your quizzes and discussions and your mind taps out of the way if you can. And for example, our next discussion on chapter 11, which is factorial designs, and you are going to design a factorial study there. It's coming due this coming Friday, November 4th there, so make sure that you have it in by that time, and don't forget the discussions are due at 9 p.m. the quizzes are due at 11:59 p.m. There's that little time differential there. And I will caution, as I've said in these videos before, that when you get to chapter 11 on factorial designs, you really will want to watch the lecture videos for that. It's frankly really kind of hard to understand factorial design just from reading the books alone, because in the lecture videos I visually walk you through a number of examples of how you look for things in factorial designs. What you're going to learn about are these things called main effects and interactions. You can see those in a table of data. We call that a matrix you're going to learn, but you can also see it in a graph, a visual representation of that data. So you need to be able to identify these main effects and interactions in a matrix and also a graph. And in the lecture videos, I walk you through with a lot of examples to show you that. So by the time you're done watching those, this is going to be really easy for you, but you might find it kind of challenging to do that on your own. So I'm just cautioning, because I have the same thing when I do my face-to-face classes. We really walk through those things, and by the time we're all done, everybody feels really comfortable and they can kind of do it in their sleep. So it's really helpful for you to do that. So do take the time to watch those. Next up here, the big item is that your final APA style literature review paper, the review itself, is coming due there on Wednesday, November 16th. So it's still a few weeks out there. You'll find the APA literature review module underneath Unit 5 of our course material on our Canvas course page. So please be sure to scroll down there past Unit 5, and there you'll find it. You want to look for the instructions for Component 3, which is the final literature review paper. When you open it up there for the instructions there, do take some time to watch that short how-to video that I have there at the top of the instructions, where I walk you through with narration and screenshots and show and tell you what you need to do. That'll really help you out, so do watch that there. Also, you'll see underneath the video I've got an embedded file there that's labeled an instruction and checklist file. Do take a look at both the instructions and the checklist at the end of that file. The instructions include links to completed sample parts of the final paper, including a sample title page, sample abstract page, and a sample completed literature review. So that's from that online writing lab, or the OWL, or the OWL as it's called. So do take a look at that there. Also in that checklist there, definitely do take a look at that there. Consider that checklist a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your final paper and things you don't want to have in your final paper. I've developed that over the years, and many students report that it really saved them some time and really kind of answered some questions they may have had. So it's kind of like an FAQ kind of thing. What are some questions you may have? So definitely check that out there. Also, don't forget you have a completed sample APA style literature review paper available there in your pocket guide to APA style. Remember, you access the pocket guide through MindTap. So if you look on the MindTap platform underneath chapter 15, you'll see a link there for the pocket guide to APA style. You might want to examine at least chapter 9. That's where there are some completed sample papers. And the first paper there, the one that's on birth order, that's a completed sample APA style literature review paper. So that'll really help you out as well. It's always good to have a model to work from. So take advantage of that. It'll really answer some of your questions probably when you look at that. And as you'll find in the instruction file that I mentioned there underneath that video, and also embedded in the just overall general instructions in the module on Canvas about what you need to do on this paper, your final paper must be 8 pages of literature review content. That means not 7 1/4, not 7 1/2, but 8 full pages of literature review. That is information from your thesis statement there based on the 10 references that you have. So you need to write about those 10 references and how they speak to your topic and thesis statement, not unlike writing like a little mini chapter or a little mini section in a chapter on your topic in a textbook you would find. So that's the perspective you should have. So keep the tone academic and scientific. Don't be conversational. And also be careful not to write about your lived experiences. This is not autobiographical. It's about the literature you found, the literature being your 10 references. Again, like something you would find like in a little textbook section devoted to this topic and thesis statement that you have. So please keep that in mind there. Also as well, make sure that you cite all of your 10 references like you needed to do in your outline, that second component, and don't cite sources that you don't have in your references. But if you find something else you want to add that'll help your paper, go ahead and cite it, but make sure you add it to your list of 10 references. You're not married to that list of 10 references. If you need to change them, if you need to add more to them, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure they're in APA style, and again, make sure you cite all the references that you have, because the review of the literature is about the literature you found as documented in your list of references. Okay. Also, keep in mind here too that along with those 8 pages there, you're also going to have a title page, an abstract page, and a page of references. So it's 11 pages altogether, but 8 pages are kind of the meat and potatoes, the actual literature review itself. Also, you are going to submit your paper as you did for the first 2 parts in the dedicated submission area, but this time it's via that Turnitin platform. Turnitin, you may know, is a plagiarism detection kind of software, so it will analyze your paper and look for any information that matches, say, something that's already in a journal article or somebody else's paper already written on the subject, so it will detect those things. So be careful that you paraphrase, that you put things in your own words. You will find there in the instructions in the Canvas module a little section about plagiarism. You'll also find a sample of what plagiarism looks like. It's actually from chapter 4 of your textbook. There at the end they talk about plagiarism, and I just reproduced that table so you can see here's the original source, and they give you, I think, 3 examples of plagiarization of that original source, and I think the 4th and final example is a non-plagiarized, that is a correctly paraphrased example, just so you can kind of see what that's like. Because if all you do is change a few words and you kind of retain the sentence structure, that's still plagiarism. And so even if you cite it word for word and you just put a citation, that's still plagiarism, because you're claiming you wrote that when you didn't. And so it's important that you have all that understood there. And also don't forget you have that Writing and Reading Center available there in the library. It's on the ground floor there, I think, past the main desk there, so you can always ask at the main desk and they can help you out there too. That's everything I wanted to say for right now. We'll have our live session as always on Monday at 11 o'clock, so hopefully I'll see some of you there. And again, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to email me and I'll be glad to answer. Email me via Canvas and I'll get back to you. So alright, well, have a good weekend. Enjoy the really great cool weather. It finally feels like fall. So I will maybe see you on Monday, and I'll see you in those lecture videos. And take care until next time. Bye-bye.